Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to talk about something that I'm sure you have been wondering about if you have been a Tesla investor, which is, has Tesla hit the bottom now? So if you like this content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos. And if you want to get access to my valuations on the stocks that are covered, which is pretty much Palantir and Tesla, and want to have my eternal gratitude, then you can check out the first link in the description box. So Tesla stock, has Tesla hit the bottom? So I want to show you what has happened to the stock. So from the peak over $1,200, we have fallen 50% to its lowest point, which was a stupid cheap price. I cannot tell you guys how stupid cheap that price was. And I had money on the way to the stock market, and the transaction got stopped because of a KYC, and I had to provide more data, and they're still processing the payment. I really hope that I didn't miss this crazy good price. Anyway, so from the low, the price has gone up 22%, and we are wondering, is this the bottom for Tesla? So I just did a video yesterday for Palantir on the same topic. If you're interested, you can watch this. Obviously, some points when we talk about the macro are going to be repetition, but some points are only Tesla specific. And these two companies are a bit different, whereas Palantir has zero micro factors in the stock price going down, meaning that the company is doing amazing and, you know, the fundamentals just keep getting better with every passing day. Tesla has some inside Tesla issues, not just the macro issues. It is a different outcome than in the Palantir video. I still think it will be interesting for you as an investor. So let's look into this. So to understand if Tesla is at the bottom, we obviously have to see what is the macro things that are causing it to crash. So the number one thing that is causing it to crash is obviously the Fed increasing interest rates to combat runaway inflation. Then we have this war in Russia and Ukraine that is going on. Then there is China lockdown because of their zero COVID policy, which and all the previous two contributes to the supply chain disruptions. And these are the main things that are, you know, driving the stock market crazy, and this is why everybody has been selling. However, not like Palantir, Tesla has inside things that are also making the stock go down, meaning micro things, not just macro things. So we have the Elon Musk Twitter distraction that is happening on the stock, where many investors think that Elon Musk is not able to manage another company other than Tesla. They somehow seem to forget that he also has SpaceX, the boring company, Neuralink, OpenAI, and I'm sure he has more that he doesn't disclose. And also that Tesla is not like it has been a few years ago. They have a very clear product roadmap. I would be surprised if Elon Musk doesn't have other people run major parts of the company. And if Elon Musk were to have a heart attack or a stroke and he would be completely incapacitated, God forbid that this happens, I believe that the company would be completely okay. It would be like Steve Jobs, Tim Cook takeover, where somebody who's really good at, you know, just executing on the plan that has been laid out by the founder can just take over and, you know, run with it. Then there is the Shanghai lockdown. China has the zero COVID policy, and even though, you know, some companies were able to lobby to the government to open some factories, and Tesla was one of them that could somehow open the factories, however, they still have all their suppliers in China who are in lockdown. So despite being able to be open, they're not at the capacity that they normally are. And as you have seen in my earlier videos, Tesla valuation is super dependent on growth. If the growth would go away from Tesla, Tesla would be a $60 stock, and Gordon Johnson would be right. Now we obviously know he's a stupid idiot, but it would make him right. And because the factory is locked down, we know that quarter of doom is coming because they're going to significantly disappoint in quarter two. And obviously in anticipation of this, the prices are going down. And then there is the recession fears. The fears are that the Fed raising the interest rates is going to, you know, stop completely the economy, and there's going to be a recession. And very unlike Palantir, Tesla is not as recession proof as you think, even though I don't think that this matters for them so much. But just so you know, auto companies do horrible in recession. In recessions, auto companies tend to go bankrupt or, you know, survive by the skin of their teeth. And I do believe Tesla has such a big backlog of orders that at this current point, it's not such a risk for them. But once they're a much bigger automaker and they're selling, you know, tens of millions of cars, like maybe 15 million cars, then they will be much more sensitive to the economy. And it's just a fact, automakers don't do well in recessions. I believe that not a lot of people are talking about this, but I think that this is also weighing down on Tesla, because Tesla as a company has never really been, since they have mass production, they have not been through a recession. So we don't know what they are like in a recession. I highly doubt that their order books would drown up, but the possibility of it is not zero. And that's why I mention it here. In order to see if we hit the bottom, we have to zero in on, the things that are driving the macro and the micro, and to see if they're getting better or, what's happening. So we know that the consumer has a lot of money right now. And because of a lot of money, there's a lot of demand for products. And, I see it on ourselves, or myself as a family, that because we haven't done things for 2 years, pretty much the price doesn't matter. We're still going to do it, which is very bad because there's no demand destruction happening, even though the Fed is raising interest rates. I saw articles that, the consumers are sitting on trillions of dollars in saved up money. And unfortunately, that has to really dry up before the consumer stops spending and we see a meaningful change in the economy. Then there is the worker shortage, which again is pushing up the inflation. And to keep this video short, I'm not going to play a video, but Kevin O'Leary had an interview on CNBC. And I really value his insight because, he's from Shark Tank. He has 30 plus private companies that he has invested into all over the US. And he basically said that he knows that we should be really worried as investors, but he just can't get there because all of his companies are doing amazing. The cash flow has never been better and they're having trouble hiring workers. And that interview was from 2 days ago, guys. From 2 days ago. So it's not even that you can say, yeah, this interview was in January and it has majorly changed since then. And normally when the Fed increases interest rates, it takes, a year for the results to really show. And they are really raising interest rates now, but it takes time. Definitely, I don't feel that the inflation is under control and a lot more tightening is on the way. Then we have the supply chains both in China and in Russia. And the Russia-Ukraine situation seems like it will turn into a long attrition war. It's not going to end anytime soon. And I think if you have had business in these countries, then you just have to relocate and there's no other solution, which again is a slow solution to the problem. Then regarding the China lockdown, they are easing. It's a little bit the same there. They still have the zero COVID policy, so there's a risk of them locking down again if it's needed. So a real solution for companies is to relocate out of China or wait until the government opens up. It seems like in June they are going to open up, but it's a very slow process. How are the micro factors looking in Tesla? So the recession doesn't seem to have hit yet. The market basically is falling. The general stock market is falling because they are anticipating a recession. And that recession is in no way here. And I don't feel that anybody really talks about the fact that auto companies do horrible in recessionary times. And Tesla, again, has not been through a recession since they have started mass production. I do believe that this, from smart investors, does weigh down the price a little bit. Then we have the quarter of doom coming, and they are really going to disappoint. They said that they will have a 50% growth this year, which still might be possible if the ramping of the Berlin and the Texas factory is going well. But they are really, really going to disappoint. And, there's a lot of algo and robotic training, and there's a lot of not smart investors. They will just see the news come out that Tesla is disappointed and, the margins went less, the deliveries went less, and the outlook is not as great as it has been. And they are just going to panic sell without thinking about it twice. Then the Twitter takeover bid for Elon Musk is not sorted out yet. He's been getting a lot of political attacks. He even became a little bit political himself on this, which I'm not sure was a very good idea. And this is definitely weighing down on the stock price. And the story of this is not over. So many of the micro and the macro things are not getting better, but Tesla is going to for sure survive this recession. There is not a question on anybody's mind because they have a $20 billion war chest. They have, positive cash flow in the billions. They have no debt on the balance sheets. They're just in a really, really good position. Then, because of the Fed tightening, many of their competition, which is the EV startups, are going to have a very hard time getting financing. And many of these companies' business models or business plans were built on, keep going back to the markets for more and more money. Obviously, is a good business strategy. It worked for Tesla when the times are good, but when the times are horrible and you just simply run out of money, it's a very bad place to be. And there is a lot of competitors to Tesla, quote unquote competitors, that are maybe not going to survive this. Nikola comes to mind. Lordstown Motors comes to mind. I do believe two viable competitions that Tesla has is Rivian. They have also an insane war chest, and Lucid Motors. They also have 4 billion plus in the bank, and they are pretty much ramping up the production. So I'm sure that those two will survive, but a lot of other companies will not. And then you have the legacy companies, which are riddled with debt. They want to switch to EVs, and obviously they need to have financing to be able to do this, because their current cash flows are not going to be able to support it. And if you look at Ford, I did an analysis on them for a past video. They create, after paying their interest, like 1.7 billion, or they did in 2021, right? They are going to suffer in the recession, which means that the positive cash flows will go away. And when they invest into EVs, and they need tens and tens of billions of investment into EVs, that's what Tesla had to do. And Tesla is very efficient with spending their capital. I don't believe that Ford and GM are so efficient as Tesla in spending their capital. And if you loan them money, you have to know that when they build out EV factories, those factories are destroying their current business models. So their cash flows and balance sheets are going to get worse. And my point is that they're going to probably have to significantly slow down their EV efforts, and it's going to be amazing for Tesla. Then there is the future tailwinds for Tesla, which is the Berlin and the Texas factory ramping up. If the FSD comes out and they're able to sell it as a subscription model, it's basically 80 or 90% margin for Tesla, which is going to significantly increase their margins and cash flow. And the Cybertruck is going to go into production, where they have, again, crazy amount of back orders, and it's supposed to be a very, very profitable car. So have we hit the bottom on Tesla stock price? The macro has probably not hit the bottom, because the whole market started falling in anticipation of a recession, and that recession hasn't even started yet. And the consumer is very, very strong. There is no indications that the bottom has been reached there, and the Fed is going to continue to raise interest rates, and we don't know what's going to happen. Again, the recession will hit Tesla, so we don't know even if Tesla has hit the bottom. However, I have this Tesla valuation model, which you can get if you support the channel, $5 a month in Patreon. And I have a very conservative calculation, because they are thinking to grow 50% per year, and their EPS, which really matters when you count the PE of a stock, is even set to grow even faster than their growth, right? And I'm pessimistic both on the growth. I'm just giving them 30%, and I'm pessimistic on their margins. I'm even giving them stock dilution, and I have a stock price for 2025 that is $2,078. Again, if you visit Patreon, you can, play around with this table, because I don't want to give you investment advice. And then, you can play around with what you think, and it will give you a stock price. And the point is that with this pessimistic valuation, if you want to get 30% return all the way through to the end of 2025, the stock price has to be below 728. And the stock price was 660, which would have given you a compounded return of around 40%. I don't know the exact number, but it was stupid low. So the point is, there is definite headwinds coming for Tesla. The overall stock market, I think, is still going to go lower from this point. Yes, there has been a bounce, but the market has been falling so much in a straight line that you cannot fall in a straight line without a huge rebound. And I believe that that's the rebound that we're seeing. Although nobody can predict the market, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla in the 600s again. If it goes and has a 5 in front of it, I will be a crazy buyer, and I will put any money that I can find anywhere into Tesla, because I don't believe that you have a best investment. And that even includes Palantir. So that's a really, really strong thing to say. And I'm really hoping for this, but we don't know if it's going to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.